Hi everyone, it's Corinna Arnold here. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be my third video on YouTube, so brand new to the platform. I was really guided to come forward today. When I was in meditation, I was guided to talk about hope, and I had to meditate into that for a little bit and kind of process and hear other messages from my divine team on what that really is. For those of you that are new here for me and first time seeing me, I work as an intuitive medium for probably about the last 15 years. And so I've been doing intuitive readings and mediumship readings for people, as well as Reiki healing for people. I actually started Reiki when I was 17 years old, so I've been doing this for a while. But my intention has been to be in service for the divine, to help people find clarity in their lives, healing through talking to people that have crossed, and to bring through guidance for people. And so I've been doing that on Facebook for the last 1.5 or 2 years, and bringing through kind of the June energy or July energy message for the month. But I've been guided here to YouTube to really bring forward further messages for you. So with all that being said, if you're interested, once you get done this, in the vibration that's happening here, and if I can be of service to you, thank you for trusting me with your heart. And hit the subscribe button and also the little bell. I keep being told by everyone you need to remind everyone to do that. So you'll get notification when I am on, because I do come on live at the beginning of every month, and I do a live energy oracle card reading, so assessing the energy of what's going on in Earth for the collective right now. And then I also do readings for people live during that hour or 2 hours that I'm on. So I'll actually tune into your energy personally and give you a free reading. So with all that being said, I want to go back to the topic at hand, and I think I'll probably pull some cards on it. It's about hope. It's been an interesting month in June, and if you go back on my other 2 videos, you'll see that I did my June energy oracle reading here on YouTube, and I also did a mid-month update, which I don't usually do mid-month, but this has been a unique and interesting energy in the month of June. So you can go back and watch those 2 videos as well if you're interested, because I do find that there's lots of information in there as we navigate through those. I would say there's another 2 weeks of this energy, maybe 3, that will still help you navigate through it. It has been a challenging one, and that second video really talks about how do we get through this kind of influx of high frequency energy that's come in, and that's obviously impacting our physical and emotional well-being. How do we integrate that energy in a healthy way? So go back and watch those videos if you're interested in learning more about that. However, when I woke up today and I was in meditation, I had a feeling of hope. And so Spirit wanted me to come forward and just talk about hope. And they said it's time to, there's an energy of hope coming forward as we've navigated through this energy of June. And I'm interested to see what the July energy feels like when we get into that in the next week or so. But they keep saying to me, hope springs eternal. Hope springs eternal. And they had me reflect back on my life growing up, and certainly as a child, I had certain traumas that I had to work my way through, challenging life story, which maybe one day I'll get into. But the one thing that there's 2 things that I always knew. I never felt alone throughout my whole life. I always knew that I was loved and guided by my divine team that's been with me, that's currently here with me, and that's expanded with me and helped me grow and is here and helping me be in service to you. There's also the piece that even in the darkest times that I've been through, there's never been a moment where I've lost hope. Let me rephrase that. Maybe there's been a minuscule little moment that we've all felt where it's like, are you kidding me? Is this for real right now? How can I find hope through this level of darkness? But something within my soul always held on to hope. And I always knew at the end of the day, my greatest wish and hope was that life would be better the next day. And you know what? Usually it was in some form or another. Maybe not completely out of the darkness, but there always was a spark of hope. The divine wants me to come to you today and talk about that for you, because some of you might need to hear that message, that there is hope and there is an energy of hope, and they're asking you to hold hope in your heart, in your frequency, as we move forward into this new ascension energy. They just said to me, hope never dies. The energy of hope never dies. As it's put out into the field, it expands, and it also learns to come, and it rebounds back to you. And hope is eternal. It's the one thing that will break through when we're in a place where we can't maybe see the complete future or a path forward. Our hope for a path forward sometimes is enough to pull us through. They're talking about wanting to make sure that we understand the power of hope right now. And I'm hopefully this is making sense to some of you as you're listening. And I trust that if you're here, it is. And there's a reason why you're hearing this. Again, they keep saying to me, hope springs eternal. And they want you to know that right now. That there is lots of hope here. There's lots of wonderful things happening on earth. And they want you to hold the vibration of hope in your heart. No matter what you're going through in your life right now, there is always the potential to navigate through and to hold a higher frequency and a vision for yourself and for the world. And that's really the key, I think, those two things, is to hold hope alive in your heart for what it is you're wanting to see and manifest in your life. And also, as a collective, how do we hold hope in a world that is certainly reflecting back to us an energy sometimes of degradation of culture and of spirituality, being void in some of the experiences we see consistently around us. The messaging we see around us is certainly that that's the case, that we are void of a spiritual center at times, and that we're all searching to come back to that. And we can see that in the news, certainly in politics sometimes, maybe in your work environment sometimes. But in amongst all that, there is moments of hope and light, and we can also see that and hold that vibration for each other. So they want to talk about making sure we're holding a vision for that. They want to guide you through the potential in a vision for the earth and also for yourself, that there is a bigger vision here unfolding if we can hold the energy of that collectively. Some of you may or may not feel this or even understand that some of us have come here to really be anchors of hope and light. And I think if you're here, I know that you feel that on some level. So it's almost like a call out to us all to hold the vibration of hope in a world that's going to tell you something very differently and reflect back to you a very different message at times if you buy in, is what they're saying. I guess they're asking you most of all not to buy in to some of the messaging we're receiving, that there is so much to be hopeful for, that there is so much joy and love here, there's so much beauty here, and make sure that we're holding that perspective. In June message, they talked about holding a higher perspective for yourself and for the collective consciousness on earth. I think this is them bringing forward that message in a different form. Sometimes that higher vibration is one of hope and one of love. And so they keep saying, keep holding hope, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's hope for your own well-being, for your health, something going on in your family. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's, just a collective feeling you're having right now for the earth. They keep saying to me, hope springs eternal. It's like an eternal flame that never can be doused or died. It will never die down. And hope is the center of the energy they want you to hold right now for yourself and for others. And for those people that are feeling in the moment that there is feeling hopeless, that there isn't a way out, they want to know and remind you that you're not alone, and that there is hope through any situation to come out of. And certainly, at some point when I have time to go into certainly my journey so far on earth, you will certainly know through my experience that that is true. And there is hope to navigate through any challenging experience, and that you can come out the other end of it if you hold hope in your heart. It's like a doorway. They're showing me that it's like a doorway that opens. When you have hope present in your life, it opens a doorway and a potential to go out. And if you can't find that in yourself right now, just listening to this message, I hope it reminds you of the potential for that in your field, in your experience, that hope can open up a door for you in a doorway. And even if life is really going great for you, why not have hope for even more joy and even more love and even more abundance and all of the good things that you deserve in this world? There is limitless potential here for you, is what I was just told. And why not hold the energy of joy and hope in your heart and allow that to come forward to you tenfold, and to share hope with others that might be hopeless. I think this is also a call of service, not only to yourself, but to the collective, and bringing hope to other people that it sometimes are in the midst of darkness. I know sometimes in the most challenging times of my life, I certainly had people that were like angels that came into my life that showed me that there was hope in humanity and hope in the kindness of others. And that is the energy that they're all calling out to you to hold. So this isn't going to be a very long video. This is just something that I'm guided to share with my subscribers. And if you hear this later, it's certainly a message for you. I'm going to pull a couple cards from Anna Stark's Sacred Power cards, is what I'm being guided to pull, just around the topic of hope. These are the cards here. I just started working with them. I might pull from her other deck as well. But let's just pull a couple cards around the topic of hope, just asking all of our angels and guides to come forward. I just had a card pop right out. And so I always like to pull 3 cards. So I'm just going to pull 2 more cards here. And I'm just shuffling the cards until a card pops out. Or then I just fan the cards and pick another 2 cards. It's the way that I usually like doing it. For those of you who haven't seen me before, I actually intuitively read cards. Sometimes I'm guided to go to the book, but most of the times I tune in and I hear messages, I see things, I feel things, I'll know things. So I'm just listening in all those different ways to the messages that are coming through. So 2 more cards around the subject of hope here. Asking for 2 more cards on the subject of hope. What is it we most need to know around hope? There's 1 more card that didn't want to go back in. And asking for 1 more card around the subject of hope. Just going to fan the cards. All right, so let's just see what came up. I got the card retreat, and sometimes it'll be what I'm talking about will be labeled on the bottom, and sometimes it'll be completely different. Intimacy and sound. This is just energy that what they're talking about right now with this card is they're talking about speaking words of hope, actually sharing words of hope, speaking hope out into the universe, to your friends, even to yourself. It's like we have to project the energy out, is what they said. So holding a hopeful vibration, speaking in a hopeful manner, which is vibration, speaking in the tone of hopefulness. You know what hopefulness and joy sounds like compared to despair or depression. There's something here about the practice of speaking hopeful thoughts, about knowing that grace and kindness and love is coming to you, that all things will work themselves out with divine guidance and time. And so there's even when they're talking about, even when we feel like we don't have a road through or a road out, speaking words to the universe such as, I trust that there's a road through this, and I'm hopeful because I know you are with me always, that the way will be shown and I will be guided to a place of peace and love. Does that make sense? We have to speak it into existence, is what they're reminding me of. And the vibration of hope can be spoken out, and others around you can be impacted by the way you speak hopefully about a situation. And that's how we can also be in service to each other. They're talking not about being a Pollyanna here. Does that make sense? Or just having rose-colored glasses. That's not the hope they're talking about. They're talking again about that hope that springs eternal, that maybe doesn't have a clear vision, but knows deep in itself that there's a divine order to things, and that no matter what's happening, we can get through this, and there's hope on the other side of it, that there's a doorway that's going to open towards our freedom and our peace and our inner contentment and our joy. And so we need to speak that out into the universe, into the world, to support it. You know what? They're just saying this is just the energy of hope that they want you to hold. How beautiful is that? It's just a beautiful, joyful vision, is what they said. And they just said to me, retreat into the energy of hope. Allow, and I feel like a doorway again here, right? They were talking about a doorway, opening the doorway to hope, that this is the doorway, that hope is always on the other side of the doorway, no matter what. There's always a doorway leading you towards hope, and to hold that close in your heart. I'm trying to understand what they're talking about here, and I'm just going to listen in here about intimacy. There's something here about having hope in regards to connection with others for some people here. I feel like a twin flame energy here. It's the message around this. I don't get too much into twin flames, too much. Anyways, I just feel some energy around hope towards this. And I won't get too much into this video about what twin flames are. There's a million videos about twin flames. But again, if you're yearning, some of us and some people have felt a yearning for a connection deeper. We know that there's a connection out there in the universe. You know that there's a connection out there in the universe for you. There's a twin soul, a twin flame, not twin soul, twin flame energy. Someone who it's not about completing you. It's about two whole beings come together and two energies coming together. So some of you who are feeling that energy and that longing for it, making sure you're holding the energy of hope. So this won't resonate for everyone, but I definitely feel a twin flame energy and message around here about, and it's starting today, which is interesting. Felt a little bit of it yesterday, but more today about, there's something here about two whole pieces of self coming together and uniting as one. So that could be two parts of yourself for those of you that aren't into the twin flame energy, the male and the masculine, the female, the hope of both those energies coming together. But if some of you have been yearning for this and feeling the lack of connection and intimacy, knowing that there's a soul out there calling out to you, this is like two wholes coming together as coming back as one. There's some kind of energy around that. I'm not going to get too into it. That would be a whole other video. But for those of you who understand this, they want to. There's a message here, and tuning into hope for that. Again, there's lots of hope. I just feel that's what they're here to share with you. If I wish I could make you feel what they're making me feel, and hopefully it's translating in this video. And I'm hoping you're feeling it as well. If you just take a minute to close your eyes and just tune into the energy that the divine is bringing through here into this moment through me. There is so much hope here for us, for you, and that's just a message of hope. To hold hope in your heart, and they're holding hope in theirs. I just feel like if you could see what we could see, if you could see what's on the other side of this doorway once we go through, that there is a doorway being opened, and that hope springs eternal, and it's waiting for you. Hold hope in your heart right now. It's a very hopeful time. It's a very hopeful energy that's coming forward for us all. All right, I'm going to leave this video short and sweet. I just wanted to hop on here. I was doing readings for people all day, but as I'm wrapping up my day, I just kept getting prompted and called to send this message out for whoever needed to hear it. So if that's you, thank you for joining me. If you're new here, remember to somewhere on here, subscribe, hit the bell so you get more notifications. I'm happy to be of service to you. I'm happy to bring through these messages. And next weekend, I will be on live. I will post it on here. It'll be probably Saturday morning around 10 Mountain Standard Time. I will be here live on YouTube, reading the energy of July and doing some live readings for you all. Until then, please know I send you so much love, and I certainly hope you feel the vibration of hope in the air, because it's definitely here for you. All right. Much love to you. Much love to you. Take good care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.